Good morning, everyone. My name is Khalid Gibal and I am the 27th presenter. My topic is number, its types, rules, and example. You might be wondering what is number in English grammar. So, let's find out. In English grammar, number refers to the count of a noun and pronoun. We can identify it as one, only one, or many. For example, boy as only one, two boys as many, wife as only one, and wives as many. My for singular and our for plural. Ox for singular and oxen for plural. It for singular and they for plural, and etc. There are two existing types of number. We call it the singular number and plural number. Singular number refers to the count of only one of a noun or pronoun, which means it cannot exceed to the count of one. For example, robot, airplane, ball, bicycle, and pencil. Plural number refers to the count of more than one of a noun or pronoun, which means it can be two, three, or more. For example, robots, airplanes, balls, bicycles, and pencils. How to change number? There are numerous rules to change the number from singular number to plural number. They are as follows. In general, we add s at the end of the singular noun to make it plural. For example, from pencil to pencils, cow to cows, from dog to dogs. Rule number 2. If the noun ends with letter S, SH, CH, X, and Z, we add ES to make it plural. For example, from bus to buses, from fez to fezzes, dish to dishes, branch to branches, and fox to foxes. In rule number 3, if a noun ends with CH but it is pronounced as K, we have to add S, not the ES. For example, from monarch to monarchs, patriarch to patriarchs, matriarch to matriarchs, stomach to stomachs, hierarch to hierarchs. Next rule is when there's Y at the end of a noun, we change it to letter I and add ES to make it plural. For example, story to stories, hobby to hobbies, army to armies, fly to flies, and baby to babies. In rule number 5 is if a noun ends with letter Y but there is a vowel before that, we have to add S to make it plural. For example, play to plays, toy to toys, day to days, joy to joys, and donkey to donkeys. Rule number 6. If a noun ends with letter F or FE, we change the letter F to letter V and add ES to make a plural form. For example, from thief to thieves, wife to wives, wolf to wolves, leaf to leaves, and knife to knives. In rule number 7, we add ES to the noun if it ends with letter O and there is a consonant ahead of that letter O. For example, echo to echoes, zero to zeros, potato to potatoes, mango to mangoes, and hero to heroes. Next rule, if there is a vowel before O, we add S to make it plural. For example, cuckoo to cuckoos, bamboo to bamboos, studio to studios, cameo to cameos, portfolio to portfolios. There are other nouns that ends with letter O and sometimes only add s to make it plural. For example, photo to photos, piano to pianos, radio to radios, canto to cantos, and memo to memos. In rule number 10, there are nouns that have to change the middle vowel of the word to make it plural. For example, from man to men, from woman to woman or women, from foot to feet, from mouse to mice, and from tooth to teeth. Rule number 11. There are nouns that we have to add en or ren to make it plural. For example, ox to oxen and child to children. Rule number 12. If a word man is being added to the compound noun, we have to change it to men. For example, from fisherman to fishermen, workman to workmen, boatman to boatmen, from man of war to men of war, and salesman to salesman. But there are nouns that have man in part of the word, so we have to add s to make it plural. For example, from Musalman to Musalmans, from Brahman to Brahmans, from Norman to Normans, and German to Germans. Next rule, if a compound noun contains several words, add s to the main part of that noun. For example, brother-in-law to brothers-in-law, passerby to passers-by, commander-in-chief to commanders-in-chief, and stepbrother to stepbrothers. In rule number 15, there are singular nouns that have no plural form, which means they can only be used in singular. For example, scenery, furniture, expenditure, issue, and bread. In rule number 16, there are also nouns that seems like a singular but in a plural form. For example, government, peasantry, cattle, mankind, and people. In next rule, there are nouns that seems like a plural but they are singular. For example, physics, news, ethics, politics, and wages. Rule number 18. Some have the same singular and plural form. For example, deer, sheep, species, corpse, and canon. For the last rule, there are no specific rules in changing the number in pronouns, which means it is settled and it cannot be changed. For example, singular of I and the plural is we, my, plural, our, the singular, mine, and its plural is ours, me to us, you to you, he or she to they, him or her to them, your to your, it to they, this to these, that to those, and his or her to their. And that's all for my report. Thank you for listening.